So we talked about this in another video, but it's just some mobility flow patterns. So this one is just going to be the butterfly flow. So we're just going to go to kneeling and then into butterfly, into kneeling, into butterfly. So we'll start in our butterfly stretch, and then we're just going to come knees together, come up, ideally no hands down, and then back in to our butterfly, and then we can go back from whence we came, up and around, and we're trying to land in the same spot. You can see coming this way, my feet don't quite line up. Or you can keep going, you know, trying to just link them, but make the movement very, very smooth and controlled. So I kind of plop down there. Ideally, I would like to not plop down. This is a technique I learned from Dr. Spina. He teaches a couple different courses, but the one I took was called Functional Range Conditioning. So this was a 16-hour course just on mobility training. So it wasn't sort of at the end of the 16 hours, poof, you're a personal trainer. It was like, we're just going to study mobility for the next 16 hours. And it was really well worth it. This is the 90-90 hip external rotation stretch. So we're stretching the external rotators of this hip. And the 90-90 position is basically this thigh is coming straight out from my body. This thigh is at a 90-degree angle going straight out to the side. But then my knees are both at 90. And that's important too. So don't let this knee get, you know, tucked in. It's got to be 90 degrees. So what I'm going to do now is bring my chest out over my lower leg. So I don't want you rounding over and getting down. I want you just bringing your chest forward. What you should feel is something in the back of the hip or deep on the inside of the hip. What I don't want you to feel is any type of block or pinch on the front of your hip. If you're feeling that and you say, oh yeah, I feel it right in here, that is not good. That's not what we want. You should actually get someone to take a look at it and see, why are you feeling it in there? Is it because of the joint structure, or is it because of tightness, extreme tightness, or some kind of dysfunction on the back side that isn't letting the joint glide? Okay, so if you feel it on the front, stop right now. You can't do this stretch just yet. But if it feels fine and you feel it anywhere but in the front, I'm going to come forward till I feel almost an uncomfortable stretch, keeping my chest up. And I want you to hold that for 1 to 2 minutes, preferably toward 2 minutes. And then what you're going to do, without changing your position, is you're going to push your lower leg. So I'm thinking of pushing from the outside of my knee and the outside of my ankle. I'm pushing that lower leg into the floor, starting very gently and gradually building the pressure till I'm pushing my lower leg into the floor as hard as I can. So that's maximum isometric contraction. And I'm pushing. It doesn't feel very good. And sometimes people get muscle cramps. That's okay. I'm going to push as hard as I can, trying to get up to 20 seconds of a push. Now, I've just relaxed my push. You can tell because I'm not making funny faces anymore. I haven't changed my position. Now what I'm going to do is use the muscles in the front of my hip to pull me into the stretch more. So I'm not just going to let gravity do it. I'm going to actively pull myself into the stretch. Again, starting slowly, but then building some pressure till I'm really pulling myself hard into that stretch. And I'm going to keep breathing. It's really important. Don't get, stress breathing. Just breathe. I'm generating that tension, trying not to make funny faces. And I'm trying to pull myself into that stretch for 20 seconds. Now I've relaxed. So see, I didn't pop up again. And I'm going to repeat it one more time. I'm going to push down. So for 10 to 20 seconds, now I'm going to pull up and pull myself into the stretch more. Breathing. Okay, for 10 to 20 seconds, now I'm going to relax and hold that stretch again, and it is not comfortable. for 1 to 2 minutes. And I'm breathing. For the 90-90 hip internal rotation, I'm in my exact same 90-90 position. This thigh points straight ahead, my knees bent to 90. This thigh points straight out to the side, my knees bent to 90. I'm going to come around this way. I'm almost trying to bring this shoulder toward this foot. Pretty far away from that. But it's a bit of a side reach. So I'm not just going to do I'm a little teapot and tilt my shoulders. I'm trying to side bend my body over there. So that's about all I can muster right now. So this is a really good one for the goalies, getting that hip internal rotation. So when you do drop a knee down or go into a full butterfly, you're getting a wider butterfly, but you're also not putting so much stress on your medial knee. So let's fast forward. Say I've held this for 1 to 2 minutes. Now again, I'm not going to back off. I'm going to stay there, and I'm going to push my lower leg, so the inside of my knee, the inside of my ankle, straight down into the floor. Starting slowly, gradually building pressure. Again, I'm trying not to make funny faces. I'm trying to keep breathing. I'm building that pressure over 10 to 20 seconds as long as you can. Remember, you're building up to maximum pressure, so holding for 20 seconds is going to be really hard. Now I'm relaxed. I'm not going to ease off the stretch. I'm going to now try to pull myself into the stretch a little more. And I'm contracting. I'm actively trying to pull myself more into the stretch. And then I'll relax. I can push again for 10 to 20 seconds. I can pull myself into the stretch. I'm getting a cramp right there right now. I'm going to pull myself into the stretch a little more. And then when I finish that, I'm going to hold again for another 1 to 2 minutes. So this is a standing groin with rotation. So we're going to get our feet nice and wide, but still stay up tall. So we don't want you getting so wide that you're stuck bent forward. And then we're going to do a rotation. So I do it 2 ways. One is with both arms, so I kind of trace the line from this leg out that way. So this leg on a diagonal, because I'm trying to stretch that diagonal pattern that includes my adductors, my groins, my obliques, and then up into my thoracic spine. So I'm using both arms. I'm coming this way. I'm rotating at my shoulders. I'm coming this way, rotating at my shoulders. I'm not forcing it. I'm just using the mobility that I have. The other way that I can do it is just with a single arm. So coming here and then following it up, following my hand with my head as I go. So again, trying to incorporate the obliques and the abdominals into that chain so that we don't have sort of a tight knot in the chain of tissue when you're trying to do, a kick save or a splits.